Open letter. Grief, my way. Hey, grief is one of those fickle things. It's inevitable, but it doesn't come with a manual. People try to hand you formulas for how to deal with it, how long it should last, what it should look like, what tears should mean, but none of it ever really fits. What worked for one loss might not work for another. And sometimes what worked for me yesterday won't work today. I felt the difference. How I responded to one relative's passing was not how I processed the transition of my mother. Grief doesn't stay in one shape. It morphs. It exposes. It unlocks the parts of you that you tried to keep hidden. It reveals emotions that you never took the time to reconcile. And here's the real kicker. Sometimes being strong isn't about survival. Sometimes it's a defense mechanism. Are you mixing strength? Or are you being strong because no one else is going to be strong for you? Or are you doing it so you don't have to deal with your own pain? Are you confusing your strength? Grief is tricky like that. It can hit you like an uppercut out of nowhere. It can leave you standing in a grocery store aisle, parked in your car, or just sitting in the bed watching a TV show, just stunned. No tears, no screams, just silence. And yet somehow it still moves something in you. When my mom passed, I didn't want a funeral. I don't do well with fake love, with forced condolences that feel more like obligation than genuine comfort. It didn't sit right with me to have people show up to mourn someone they barely checked on while she was breathing. I carried the weight of my own birth with just my mom. That bond was sacred. So I knew deeply that I would also carry the weight of her passing alone. No one could assist me on that journey. Not because they didn't care, but because this grief is mine. I didn't want healing forced on me. I didn't want to hear everything's going to be okay from other people who didn't have to live with the silence of her absence. I didn't want to cling to people just because they offered sympathy. That felt like a false sense of security, and I refused to subscribe to it. There was no one I felt safe enough with to unpack how I was really feeling. And oddly, that was refreshing. I didn't want a trauma bond over parental loss. I didn't want a therapist prescribing what I should feel. I didn't even want to grieve with my sisters. My thoughts were mine. My grief was mine. I watched my mother decline daily. I witnessed how her past pain kept her from stepping fully into present peace. It taught me more than I expected. And somehow, in all of that, we got a chance to work through certain things before she transitioned. I was her caregiver. That time, as hard and holy as it was a gift. Every moment had meaning. So no, I didn't fall apart when the holidays came. I still felt her in every breath I took. I didn't need tattoos or uncontrollable tears or regret. I had presence. I had peace. And when I do feel emotional upheaval now, it passes in minutes. Not from grief, but from deep remembrance and quiet reverence. Grief doesn't define me. It reminds me. It reminds me of the strength my mother instilled in me. It reminds me that I was built to keep going. I was taught how to deal with loss early in life. So many punishments, so many lost privileges. A loss is a loss, but so is a release. And sometimes the grief clears the fog, showing you just how fragile or false certain connections were all along. I don't grieve like the world tells me I should, and that's okay. Maybe someone out there needs to hear this. You don't have to perform for your grief. You don't have to accept anyone else's version of healing. If you're walking through your own loss right now, I hope this gives you permission to do it your way, in strength and remembrance. Mr. 13th.